everyone, welcome back to the Integrity Botanicals YouTube channel. Today I wanted to do a quick little review swatch, talk about the HYNT Beauty Sweet Sahara eyeshadow palette. Now you know I'm a really big fan of their Sweet Trio, spelt S-U-I-T-E, and all the names will be like Sweet Sahara, Sweet Nectar, Sweet this, Sweet that. And then they have quite a few very interesting colorways. I've always loved the HYNT Beauty formula. They are all pressed shadows, and I think just 9 times out of 10 they kind of knock it out of the park, and this is no exception. What's so cool about this though is they took their traditional 3-pan setup and split them in half. And what I like about what they did this is that I think they did leave enough room of each of the colors to still get your brush in there, be able to utilize them, and just maximize the eyeshadow palette, which is the point of these regardless. Now these are typically $39. They have the same amount of product inside, but you are getting 3 additional colors. So this is $44, which I think is awesome. So 6 shades in here. It is a 100% vegan product, 100% natural, all that good stuff, formulated with kaolin, clay, jojoba oil, a bunch of ingredients that not only make a great eyeshadow formula, but are really good and nourishing for the skin. So I like makeup that has that dual function, and you find that often in green beauty due to the nature of the, you know, a little bit more healthy ingredients. So like I said, this is a 6-pan setup as opposed to the traditional 3, but the outside is exactly the same. So you have this little window where you kind of peek into the color, HYNT Beauty logo with what color way it is in the back, and then once you open it up, you do get this little mirror, which you can see like from here to here in, so it's good for doing your eye makeup on the go. But it's still super compact and sleek. Then you get the 3 pans there. It does come with a brush, but I never use those brushes. I like to use different ones, and 6 gorgeous shades. So I'm just gonna sort of jump into the shades. It is what I have on my eyes today. It's not what I'm wearing exclusively. I do have a little bit of a gold shadow in the inner corner here, and I did also use Sappho Victoria in the crease, which is a beautiful orange, which I love paired with this shade, but we'll get there. So let's just start off with the first shade. The first shade is called Innocent Matte, and Innocent Matte is this lightest color right here. And this is just a really good, slightly more pink tone matte shade. This isn't as pigmented as something like their Linen Kiss, something like that. It has a little bit more of that sheer quality, but still has pigment. Like you can still see I use it to blend on my brow here, and it is giving that little bit of, you know what I mean? So I really like that for blending out any sort of harsh edge. I did first go in with Victoria, then I went in with this to sort of soften up that edge a little bit. Okay, so this next shade here is Pink Mocha Matte, and I love this as a transition shade. If you're doing something more purple, a little bit more cool toned, you could take this multiple different directions. I've even used it with that orangey shade I have on my lid here today. But it's just this really pretty taupey sort of color here. Something to note about the HYNT Beauty formula, at least in this particular one, these are pressed sort of similarly to the Lily Lolo, where they develop almost like a film over them if you put your finger in it too much. So I really recommend, especially the matte shades, so I recommend either kind of scratching that layer off if you're finding you're having a hard time get pigment off, or going with a brush, because the brush kind of breaks it off. So just something to keep in mind. It's very common, I find, in natural shadows. That's why I don't fault it too much, especially with a more matte shade, because I do think that these 2 matte shades still blend really well despite knowing that. But it's a really pretty, slightly pinky purple taupe shade, really good for laying down any sort of transition in the crease. Looks great with that olive green that we're getting to as well. Next up is the shade Coral Reef Shimmer, and of course it's the one I have on my eyes today. This is my favorite shade in the palette. I thought that I would like this more with the finger, but I do actually like it more with a flat synthetic brush, just to really build up that level of pigment that I want. And what I find with these metallic shades is I like to do all the crease work, all that sort of definition first, and then I'll lay this down that way, because I don't want to buff it away at all when I'm going back and forth doing these blending motions. So I'd rather just hit that very last and let it be the star of the show, which is exactly what I want it to be. And what's great about this is that it has a nice high shine finish, but it's not overly metallic. It's not unwearable in any way. It's super wearable, I find. Right next door here we have the shade Wink Shimmer, and this one is so beautiful as well. I think this one probably swatches the best in the whole collection as well. It's just this beautiful mossy antique golden green. It's a really wearable green. It's not like very, very strong, overwhelming. You can really make this pull in a very wearable direction, especially with the sisters that we kind of have here. It's a really nice, neutral, everyday palette with like a, while these are fun, they're still really wearable, and that's my favorite thing about the palette for sure. Moving on to another matte, we have German Chocolate Matte. This is what I have in my crease today. This one you do need to be careful with. I like to build this up as opposed to lay down the color. This one is the trickiest to blend. But I don't want to make it sound like it's hard to blend. You just have to make sure that the pigment's nice and even, and then go in and blend it out. So that's what I have in my crease today. I don't find it's overly dark, which I like about it. It's not a super deep, rich brown. It's a good neutral, leaning a little bit more dark brown. That way you can add that definition in the crease. So if you go in with Pink Mocha Matte, then you can add that, and it'll be like a next step of definition, which I love. And finally, which I'm very happy they included in here, is the shade Blackout Matte, which, as you can imagine, is a nice, rich, deep dark black. I did put on some eyeliner here, and I sort of set it with that black, which I love doing that trick. It increases the wear time immensely, as well as just give it a little bit of a softer, smoky look as well. So that's all 6 shades, you guys. I think this palette is wonderful. I don't get to talk about it that much. I don't even know if I've used it in a tutorial. If I have not, maybe that's something that I need to do, because I could see so many of you guys wearing this. Fun for summer because we have a little bit of action in the middle here, but this side I can imagine using on an everyday basis for just the quickest, easiest eyeshadow look ever. And though I love single shadows, I love all of that, I always think it's nice when it comes in a palette. Especially this one's really great because you don't often find anything more than trios. Or trios, at least, that have this much variety. There's a lot of variety in here, and I think it's a good, all-encompassing, one-and-done palette. I do wish there was maybe one more matte shade, but again, it's a 6-pan. There's not 7 in here. So I would like one slightly deeper, but like I said, I don't mind dipping into my other single shadows to enhance this and make this even better. That's kind of what the single shadows are for. So that's it, you guys. I really hope that you like this quick, you know, my idea of quick is very different than most, review on the Sweet Sahara palette. Sorry it took me so long to bring it to you. There's just so many exciting things coming out that I got a little excited and I didn't know what to review first. But HYNT Beauty is just one of those brands I could go to time and time again. Maybe I should do my top 5 from there because they have a lot of good products as well, just tried and true. Always go back to that one. If you have it and you love it, comment down below. If you have it, you don't know what to do with it, you want to see me do a tutorial, let me know that as well. You can even get some inspiration off what I have today. It's super easy. I just have the, I have Victoria from Sappho, I have the German Chocolate Matte, I have the Innocent Matte on the brow, the Coral Reef Shimmer on the lid, and then I have Sappho Minaz here in the corner just for a little extra gold touch. But that's it, you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Anything you need to know, swatches, everything like that, I'm going to include in the description box down below. And I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye!